Hello,
Hi,
welcome to our new episode of
it's
Live
the
Game
season.
Development.
It's the season where people catch cold, so we apologize for any coughing that you'll hear in this stream. Today's dev stream in a nutshell. We'll talk about the prototype that we've tested last Friday. We'll introduce the changes that we've made to the design, and we basically confirm that these are the last changes that we make. And from this week onwards, we work on the development.
On the
Back-
real game,
Yeah,
video game,
back
not
into
a board game like this, but a real game.
back into the saddle. And what we work on is called Act 1 of Spire of Sorcery, and we'll tell you what that means. So first about the prototype. We played
Since last week, we've made some changes.
Yeah.
even more than before.
the most of the things that we tested with the prototype proved to be fun. We liked the engagement level. We split the groups and merged them and split them again. We explored region by region. The biggest problem that we came across was using move points. They were not valuable enough.
It was mechanic just because there was no reason for it. There was no time pressure for a player to think about the fastest way of solving the problem or moving through the fastest terrain, no matter what dangers there were.
You basically, we had no cost for delaying. And yeah, sure, you understand that you move slowly through the swamp, but you don't really feel any difference. So what we've done is we looked at either giving up on that completely and just removing move points, or making it more valuable. And we decided in the end to make it more valuable. At the same time, we identified another problem, which is why this stream is called Less Random and More Control events. When you know that in this region there's a 40% chance of meeting stingtails, it's hard to process this. 40%. What is 40%? Does it mean as you enter the plains you get hit? Or maybe on the second turn, maybe on the third turn?
It's not visual enough, and it's hard to predict, and it's hard to prepare for this. How many events will I encounter on this region? 3, 5, 10? It's hard to calculate even with these numbers.
And if you carry some consumable items like smoke bombs, you may have 3, but you don't know if you will have 2 battles or 1 battle or 5 battles. So you can't really even effectively prepare for this. And we didn't really like this kind of randomness. So what we've done is we agreed to visualize all those things.
All predictable and non-predictable events. So all events will be visible on a map if the map is revealed, if it's explored.
Basically, you get attacked by stingtails when a stingtail group gets into the same hex as you are. So you see them moving on the map,
Yeah,
and
so
if
it's
you can
first
run
big
away,
change.
you run away.
Parties on a map will be moving, not only a player party, but all other as well. So group of enemies, Inquisition, bandits, creatures, dwellers. If there is a group of creatures, they can move on the map by some rules. So, for example, if you enter the region where stingtails live, a new group of stingtails will be created in a nest, and they will try to reach your party and attack you.
And if you run away from them and you leave their region, then they'll stop there. So you'll be able to basically jump into a region, get some resources, and then maybe,
If you're fast enough.
yeah, run away. So that gives more value to fast groups. That means that you have to really extract the benefits of a fast-moving group if you have one. Or if you slow down, if you're injured, then it's very hard for you to escape the dangers. So
But at the same time, there is a limit for this. You cannot win the game just running away from problems, because for extracting a resource, you'll need to pay cost turns. couple of turns will be used to extract some resources, minerals, whatever, ingredients. And while you will be extracting, the group will be closing to you. These enemies will be reaching you.
At the same time, caves, catacombs, and ruins remain shelters as shelters.
After you'll clean them up if there is any problems
Yeah.
there.
So you can hide there from the dangers of the region itself. The second thing that we've changed is that the random events, like you came across a corpse or you found a stash in the forest, kind of little funny things that are not crucial to winning or losing, but make the game fun. We also didn't like that they just happen randomly. You know, I go to the forest and sometimes I find a corpse and sometimes I find a wounded person, but I have no way of expecting that. So it just happens.
It could have occurred in the same location, in the same hex over time. So you could have passed this hex like a million times, and finally, randomly, there is a corpse there. Maybe there is a reason, but it doesn't look fun.
So we agreed that we'll visualize those with question marks on the map, and we think of it as a deck, an additional deck in a board game. And once you hit the question mark, you can get a card from that deck and then, you know, resolve that event if you want. If you don't want, you just go around.
Won't know what's there until they will explore it. So it's your choice if you're gonna go and try and see what's gonna happen. Maybe something good, maybe something bad. Who knows?
If you're injured, if you're sick, if you have problems with your party, it's unlikely that you'll go opening up those question marks. You probably,
if you're risky,
go home. Yeah, because you could end up taking more damage, which may put you down. At the same time, we agreed that these random events may have counters. So if there's a wounded person, the wounded person is there for 10 turns. That's it. After 10 turns, he's dead.
But you don't know what's there. So there is only a counter and question mark. 10 days until this event will disappear. Do you want to go and explore it, or maybe it's not so crucial for current goals and you will skip it?
My favorite use of this mechanic is that you have a counter that says 10 turns. You run there, but you do not succeed. You're maybe a couple of turns late. And at the end of the counter, it turns out that there were eggs of gigglers, and now you've got a pack of gigglers looking at you. So you have to play retreat and just run away.
That's evil, but also it sounds fun.
The big change because of that is that we gave up on exploring the map region by region, and now you'll just explore it within the
group will have a exploration radius like in previous versions, but this time it will be much more controllable, and visibility exploration will be through this radius. So it creates these interesting situations where you go into unknown territory and you reveal only a couple of hexes, and already there can be some problems. Maybe 2 tiles away from you there is a dangerous creature now, and you need to solve this problem. Because in the previous iteration of our prototype, when regions were explored whole using ritual, there was no such problems at all. You knew everything always. There was no feel of danger. I think this that you can be in a dangerous situation because you was not cautious enough, or because the area is dangerous. And now you'll be, while you wander in this unexplored area, you'll be encountering problems that are not so far away from you, and it'll create these tight situations where you need to act now, right here.
And finally, the last thing we needed to solve, and which we solved, was the storyline and the way that what is the goal of the game. And we agreed that first of all we make Act 1. Maybe the game will have 3 acts. Maybe it'll have 5. We don't know yet.
Like, we were trying to make step 1, where we'll introduce all mechanics and basic rules of the world and how to deal with time pressure events. And first goal is this time pressure event. You need to solve a problem before you can go further.
And the problem is this. The game begins with 4 disciples running away from the Guild of Mages, and jumping into a one-way portal. And that transports them into the wildlands, into the ancient forest next to the spire. And this is how the game begins.
Yeah, where our mage spirit lives.
Yep, yep. And you run there through the portal, and the portal is immediately closed after the group, but the portal will reopen once every 40 turns.
It's physical. It's located not far away from Spire, so you can see it on the map. And once in a while, it will open again, and a group of Inquisition will be going through it in a search of you. So this will be your first problem. Constant flow of enemies to your spire over time.
Constant meaning that from time to time you'll see the counter. Yep. And what it means is that if you don't develop the defense of your spire, if you don't develop the offense of your spire, if you don't actively look for ways to destroy this portal,
if you won't solve this problem
then eventually a strong enough group will come through the portal and destroy your spire. And since the portal is located next to your spire, it'll be pretty obvious, because we don't like the situation where you discover that you've lost, but there's still like 50 turns and you cannot really win and just have to suffer, just give up the campaign.
So it's short-term goal, which will set the pace of a campaign and overall pace of the game. I think it will show how it's played and how it will be played till the end.
So for this, from this week onwards, we now fully focus on developing and shipping Act 1 of Spire of Sorcery version 2.0.
From board game, we are moving to video game finally.
Yeah.
So we've started coding and opening our editors, and once again we're making a video game.
The next big thing that'll happen is us shipping an update to the game for those who currently own it on Steam that will contain a basic version of Act 1 with the new system, so hex based, the same party management, move points, and so on. I do not have an estimate for when this happens, but we basically have no other goals right now. That's what we're after, and hopefully not too much time will pass between now and when this update ships, and everyone can start discovering the new design of the game.
Difference between the previous version and current prototype is so drastic. It's like totally different experience. Visuals are similar, yes, but experience for a player will be so different.
Yeah, so it'll take some time. Meanwhile, starting from the next week onwards, we'll start with the updates of the actual version that we develop and the mechanics that we implement, introducing to you the version that you will see hopefully next month, but who knows. So basically that concludes the prototyping stage. We're done. We've solved all the major problems, and we don't see any big issues that would pose a threat to us or cause a rework of some of the mechanics. We think that everything lines up.
Yeah, we've established the core loop and core mechanics. Everything that will be on top is just like additional things, minor things, but major have been established. So that's a big thing that we've achieved finally this week.
And the simplification of crafting mechanics in the Spire gave us the ability to give you more features on the tactical side. With the old system of crafting, players would be too busy doing that stuff to actually control the armies and try to play with the parties.
We've shifted from time management and resource management in Spire towards the exploration, direct control, and more of exploration and journey on a map than some activities in Spire. Spire will be like a support base with some simple mechanics like upgrades and bonuses, crafting, simple crafting, but the main game will be on the map.
So basically it's like a group of friends who want to go out for dinner, and one option is to go and try the molecular cuisine, and the other option is to go and try the guy who does grilled strawberries and, I don't know, marinated chestnuts. And then finally, people give up on that and just go to a place that does great salad and potatoes, and that's us. So,
But we have interesting additions to this classic mechanics. I think
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
yeah.
like a plain classic tactics, nothing else. It's
I think the best thing about the game that we see right now is how simplifying individual mechanics and committing to not doing anything that cannot be explained through the user interface actually gives us a lot of possibilities to do fun stuff on the ground. Like you split your party into two, one party goes and attracts stingtails, the other party runs into the cave, jumps into the cave and explores it, takes out the chest, and then goes back, and then you merge, and then you return to the spire. So all those situations are now possible, and they're not very complicated. It's just that we had to establish the rules and give up on things that we could not explain. Like today we killed the cooldown mechanics, because that was so impossible to explain, that this character went through Grey Fog, so for 6 more turns he's immune to Grey Fog. Just thinking of showing it to players killed us. So hopefully we stick to this simple approach and we ship the version that you guys will find more versatile, more elastic, giving you different experiences, at the same time not so complex as the current version of the game.
sounds right.
That concludes today's
Yep.
dev
Thanks
stream.
for watching. You can always find news on the Discord and forum. Keep in touch, and we'll see what's been on next stream. Thanks for watching.
And stay
Bye.
warm, stay warm. Don't be
Drink
like
hot
me
tea,
going
yeah.
in a t-shirt to pick up some deliveries. Yeah. See ya,
Bye.
guys.